Welcome back to the Rum Runnas Podcast, where we drink rum and we talk about stuff. I am Jared.
I'm Batman.
Yes, I am rejoined today by Kyle. Or Batman, one of the two.
I'm Santa Claus. Actually, the other day, because it's still on topic, and it totally is just a funny thing, I went to this daycare to make a delivery.
You're segueing before we've even established the topic?
Shut up. Shut your fucking mouth, bitch. This is a family show, by the way. I was making a delivery to this daycare, and the lady introduced me, and I walk in, and she goes, "Hey, everybody, look, it's Santa Claus." And I was like, I don't know if it's because I have a red beard or I'm fat. I don't know, but it was funny. All the kids got real quiet, and she goes, "You see, they all quieted down now."
Wow. Okay.
I was sort of complimented by it.
I
always think my beard's not thick enough.
You got a good beard. You got a way better beard than me. It's why I don't grow it out.
I mean, you don't even try. So
I don't try anymore. It's irritating and it doesn't work. So I stopped. But
you just gotta stop shaving.
I know I gotta stop shaving. I'm gonna go into the topic now.
You get through the weird stuff and then you're fine.
I'm gonna go into the topic.
I already segued into the topic. No, you segued out of it.
No, you did it. Stop. Stop it. Stop. Yeah, you did. Why is it so difficult for you to say segue? It's always swagway.
See. It all started in 1988.
No, we're done with that already. So today, what the fuck was that?
You just turned into a ghost.
I did.
The ghost of Christmas past.
Okay, let me just actually, no, it'd be present because it's happening right now. Except for them
in the future.
I know, but
it's our past.
But it's our past. It's their future.
All of them.
Okay, so today marks the first episode of our holiday series. So for the entire month of December, we are going to be doing things holiday themed. And when I say holiday, I mean Christmas, because that's what we've celebrated. I've never celebrated Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, unless you have. Have you?
I celebrate Saturnalia.
Saturnalia is a good one, though.
And Yule.
And Yule.
Happy Yuletide.
Yule. Like
put the Yule back in Yuletide?
Put the Yule back in Hashtag put the Yule back in Yuletide. That's a really long hashtag.
Is it any longer than put Christ back in Christmas?
Those
are longer words.
Is that a hashtag?
Probably. I mean, every time Starbucks makes a cup that's just red, people start their war on Christmas.
It's put Christmas back in Christmas, isn't it?
No, why would you put Christmas? You can't say
put Christmas back in the holidays.
No, you put Christ back in Christmas. There's literally a billboard right by my house that says exactly that.
That's because you live in the sticks.
No, I don't. It's like a small city. There's like 4 bars and a strip club.
I think there's two
streets that are there.
From what I hear, there's actually 2 strip clubs. There's a smaller.
I've never been to them. That's your thing, not mine.
I don't know what you're talking about. So
this is Christmas. How much can we sing before it's a crime?
Usually any more than a second.
Yeah, but
like legit, like any more than a second is what I've heard.
But this is Christmas is just somebody saying this is Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that
you sing it to the
actually
exact melody.
A lot of what I found out is a lot of Christmas songs are within the fair use.
Yeah, because they were all written in like 1942.
Yeah, exactly. So it's fine as long as it's before 1955.
Because I think most of them were written for I guess it wasn't like before. They were all written for like World War II for some reason, like the one where like Snoopy's fighting Nazis.
You used to like cheer people up. They were looking to make people happy.
Yeah, because nobody had money and everybody's sons were getting shot to death by Germans.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they wrote them. But as you can tell, we're trying to be somewhat more professional.
You don't need to stop telling people stuff like that.
You shut the fuck up.
Don't badmouth us. We're amazing. We're great at this. We're so good at staying on topic. That's not even fun.
I was actually.
We were talking about Christmas. It's Christmas. We're going to talk about Christmas. It's Christmas.
We're going to state that we have, as you can tell, probably stepped up our production quality. We now have a nice background. We now have microphones. We have headphones. We have lights and stuff now that are like real. So we've stepped it up. So we hope you guys.
Fake lights. They were just. They imitated a glow.
Yeah, we were actually recording in darkness.
It was glow sticks.
Yeah, you were just recording in darkness with really good glow sticks. That's all it was. But yeah, so we're stepping up production quality a little bit, and we're sticking to the theme of Christmas with this week's episode, I guess. Specifically talking about Christmas movies. So we're talking about Christmas movies that growing up we liked, Christmas movies that as adults we still like. Weird Christmas movies, like things that we just watch at Christmas time that might not be considered a Christmas movie. things that we don't like about certain Christmas movies, and then we're doing reviews kind of about new Christmas movies. So that should be fun. So why don't we?
I gotta stop staring at the lights.
You do. You're gonna go blind.
I'm like a small child.
You are. You're or a moth. You're either a small child or a moth.
That meme was dead, but
The
it was
moth
one of my
meme?
favorites.
Moth meme. Moth meme was great. Well, a friend of mine was hardcore into the moth meme.
Memes don't last as long as they used to. That's offensive.
And I think it's just because of everybody's attention.
Sometimes I don't even get
Everybody has the
meme
attention
until
span
it's
of
already
the
over.
moth. So do I. I do that all the time.
Like the board vessel one, I was like, that's amazing, but it was already done, and I just saw it in a PewDiePie video.
Yeah, it's bad. Everybody can't keep their attention on anything. Which
And that's the end of the podcast because we found out 30 seconds is all you need.
That's what she said.
Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, so to get it started, why don't we talk about things from our past that you enjoyed? I'll talk about some ones that I enjoyed, and we'll see if they kind of overlap at any point. They might.
I think we have like one that overlaps,
Probably.
but you don't like scary movies. And
I don't like scary
I was
movies.
thinking about this.
It's not that I'm scared of scary movies. I just don't like them.
The most nostalgic for me is because I grew up in a very not broken home. So my mom used to try to terrorize
For the
us.
listeners, there was some sarcasm if you didn't catch it.
You know, what?
Why are you pandering to the viewers? Pandering to the listeners? You're trying to balance you. You're a Libra. Libra's the
I'm
scales.
Cancer.
Yes, you are.
So I grew up watching horror movies for Christmas as a small child.
Makes sense.
So like there's like the classics, like
It explains a lot.
like my favorite Christmas movie that is kid friendly is A Year Without Santa Claus because you have to like that one.
That's at the top of my list.
Yeah, it's just a requirement because it's like the one where you're like, no, wait, Santa really didn't do Christmas this time.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, it was such a great one, but I mean,
It ended badly, and that was fine. I liked that. It wasn't a happy ending. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. I mean, he went on vacation. He didn't deliver presents.
He went on vacation. I mean,
People were just cool with it.
and plus they rallied and everybody was fine. There's the quest, Heat Miser, and
Is the
Snow
Snow
Miser?
one? Yeah, Snow Miser was my favorite.
I
hated Heat Miser.
Snow
I
Miser
wanted
was
bad things that
everybody's
happened to
favorite.
him.
Yeah, Snow Miser was everybody's favorite. I just got
I think
Emma
now I
into that.
side with him just because I hate the snow.
And we live in
I just,
Pennsylvania.
yeah, and I would move to Florida to get away from it.
I won't.
Well, that's sucks to be you.
Yeah, no, I like the snow. I just like it in moderation. Some snow is fine. Fucking 5 feet of snow is an issue.
Yeah, like it happens every February because our snow doesn't come until, spring.
Yet we got.
I love snowstorms in March.
In November.
Yeah, one time. One time.
Like.
And then it was, 90
weeks
degrees
ago.
the next day?
It was like 70 degrees the next day. It was northeast weather. Why not?
But, so yeah, back to kids movies. So, like, aside from, like, those ones, because, you have to watch those
What about
ones.
the rest of the claymation
And then,
movies?
like the Jack Frost one, just because, like, it was about Nazis. And I thought that was funny. Like, it was secretly about Nazis. By secretly, I mean, it was super just about
It was
Nazis.
super about it. But yeah, then
what
there
was the
also-
name of the bad guy? Like Kubler Kraus? No.
No, it was.
Who was Kubler Kraus?
No,
That wasn't
you're
Jack
thinking.
Frost.
You're thinking.
That was the Santa Claus
Santa
one.
Claus is coming to town, and it was Burgermeister Meisterburger. And
No,
he
no,
was
no.
Super.
Kubler Kraus was a bad guy in one of them. It's such a racist German
It totally
term.
is.
But
It's so bad.
It wasn't Jack Frost. It was the one where Santa grows up, like he starts off as like a little redheaded kid.
That's not Year Without Santa. That's Santa Claus is coming to town.
Is that what that one's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it was.
Never mind. I love that one too, but I don't
thought
know
his
what
name
it's
was
called.
Burgermeister Meisterburger because I always used to make fun of that.
Was Kubler Kraus the bad guy from the Easter one? No, it was definitely that. Whatever.
Apparently, like, they
It's
were
Nazis.
they
They
were
just-
all anti-Nazi.
Yeah,
That's, like,
they're
the
super
big thing about
Nazi,
it.
like anti-Nazi propaganda.
I mean, we can't be mad about. We can't be super mad about that. But I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to throw into a children's movie. What about Rudolph?
It was super relevant at the time.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, yes, but I'm just saying.
Kubler Kraus is just like my favorite name ever for a bad guy. I don't know. Sounds like a
good.
Mario character now that I'm thinking about it.
It does. It sounds like someone available in Mario Party.
But yeah, my mom, we used to watch the Jack Frost movie, not the Michael Keaton
Not
one.
the Michael
No,
Keaton
the
one.
one about a serial killer who got into an accident on his way to get executed and somehow got his body mixed with chemicals and snow and became a killer snowman.
I know what you're talking about. I never watched it. I never gave a
You
shit.
should have, because one, it's got Shannon Elizabeth. Is that a person?
Ooh,
Is that
yeah, Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah, and she gets banged to death by the snowman in a tub.
Wow.
Yeah, so you should watch it. That's a good scene.
Okay.
I like that scene.
That might have something.
This
to
goes
do
back to that weird thing where I accidentally said the white murder.
Yeah, it kind of does tie back into.
And then there was a more messed up movie that I didn't enjoy and kind of traumatized me, and my mom had us watch every year, called Silent Night, Deadly Night, where Santa Claus murders people, and there's like Santa Claus raped a lady at one point.
Holy crap.
That wasn't the one that killed people. That was the Santa Claus that made the other Santa Claus become a serial killer later. Yeah, so like this kid watched his mom get raped by a Santa Claus and then later grew up dressed like Santa Claus and murdered people. It's a fucked up movie.
It's a very fucked up movie.
I've never
seen it, and I'm already like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, there's like 8 of them though. Because horror movies, they just keep pushing them out.
Going, yeah.
My mom made us watch, I think, most of them. I don't know. I only remember the first one, and there's like a box cutter scene. It's fucked up.
Jesus. Yeah, you had a fucked up childhood.
You ever see Black Christmas though? That's a shitty movie.
No,
I saw it as an adult. The bad
never.
guy's like yellow for some reason.
I've never seen Black
I don't know if that's like that in the original one from the 70s, but like I saw that one like when I was working at a place that sells movies.
We've already said the name in every single podcast.
I know. I just wanted to keep it mysterious.
Anyway, you said where you worked.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not a place anymore anyway.
It's not a place. Well, apparently there's still one. Is there one still?
I doubt it.
One
the one in
Africa,
like Australia.
in Africa.
There's one Blockbuster still in Africa.
No, it's in like Oregon.
No, it's in like North Pole, Alaska, or whatever, isn't it?
No, I thought it was in Oregon.
Who cares? Who cares? It's a dead company.
It is a dead company.
Even if there is one, it's just somebody that retains the rights to the name, and it's a franchise. It's not a real. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but
it's just someone that's like, people still like this, and
people want to come here. I know it.
There's people like us that like want to go to a movie store, and there's people like my wife who ruined America.
Yeah.
And the world.
Okay then. Yeah. So so you just watched a bunch of weird movies. That's basically what it was.
I mean, I watched all the regular ones. The horror ones stick with me more because we watch them every year.
It was like thrust upon you at that point.
Yeah.
And then you just started electing to do. Okay, I got you. See, for me, it was the claymations. I was Santa Claus is coming to town here without a Santa Claus, Rudolph, all of those ones. But then also when I was younger, it was a lot of I watched White Christmas a lot, and I didn't understand it.
I don't know what that one is.
It's the song White Christmas. No. I feel like you should.
I don't.
I feel like everybody.
I almost exclusively watch horror films.
Okay, cool.
I watched most of the claymation ones and the Grinch cartoon.
You had to have at least heard White Christmas at some point. It plays in Walmart.
What's it about?
It's about a Christmas being white.
That's so racist.
It totally is. But I mean, the beginning of the movie takes place in World War II. But I didn't understand it a lot when I was a kid. So that was one way.
The hashtag put the white back in Christmas.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We're gonna skirt around that one real quick. We're gonna jump into you mentioned it, but How the Grinch Stole Christmas, both the cartoon and the live action.
I hate the live action one.
I didn't mind the live action one. I liked my live action one.
You like bad movies though, and we've already established that.
Once again, I enjoy movies.
You like bad movies.
I'm gonna go with 98% of the people that are going to hear this are probably gonna go, no, yeah, I agree with Jared.
Because they like bad movies.
That's fine. It's your opinion.
I like the Grinch video game though that came out after that. Did you ever play that for PlayStation 2?
I did not play that. I did not even know that there was a video game for the Grinch.
Of course there was. It was late 90s, early 2000s. Of course there was a video game. When did that come out? That's so old.
I don't know.
Jim Carrey didn't look like a crazy old person yet, so.
Yeah, no.
A long time ago.
I mean, even though he was covered in green fur. But I mean, the animated one is a classic. It's great. But also Jingle All the Way is one that I loved when I was younger.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I saw it too many times though, because my 900 siblings
I was gonna say one of your younger siblings.
I watched it too many times and then I did not like it anymore.
I mean, that's just oversaturation at that point, but it's such a good Christmas movie.
The advertisement for the action figure though, that scene is still one of the funniest ones.
Wait, which one? The
the commercial.
The commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah, commercial was hilarious. But I mean, It's
I wanted the bear.
Booster.
Yeah.
Yes, the pink saber-toothed tiger.
I'm actually
bear
upset those
kind of
weren't
thing.
real toys.
You would think that for a movie that was coming out about Christmas, by Christmas, and all about a toy, they would have marketed Turbo Man and Booster dolls.
Screw Turbo Man. Booster doll though, yeah.
I mean, because he was just cute and he was fluffy and pink. I can see why you would like it. I mean,
Who doesn't like pink?
There's a large amount of people that don't like it.
Yeah, jerks.
I mean, I'm not one of them. I like the color pink. It's been incorporated into a lot of the things that we've done. Pink, purple, things like that. It's a good color. It's a strong color.
We should make pink Christmas colors again. Put pink back in Christmas.
Put pink back in Christmas.
Who chose green and red?
I don't know. You're the artist.
Oh wait, no. I know who chose red. I do know who chose red. It was Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola chose?
Coca-Cola chose red.
It was like strictly a marketing thing?
Yeah, because before that, like in older pictures like Santa Claus, he was in like blue and green and like different colored suits, and then Coca-Cola's like, this is our Santa Claus.
This is red.
Also, the fact that like Christmas wasn't celebrated until like the 1920s.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that a little bit later at the end
That's
of
a totally different episode.
Yeah. No.
I mean, we're gonna talk about that. That's a movie,
yeah.
but like for the most part, we're gonna talk about the origins of Christmas. I thought.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. The origins of Christmas is gonna be another one. It's gonna be either next week or the week after that. So
Yeah, like,
something to
we're
look into.
not gonna talk about how Christmas was originally an orgy yet.
True. We're not gonna talk about that. Not in this one. So we have the movies that we grew up watching. Out of those movies, like which ones do you think still hold up as an adult?
I mean, aside from the fact that they're about Nazis, the claymation ones are still great and kids still like them. So
Yeah.
I'm still good for that.
Yeah.
Like the horror movies, nah. The
Not
one
so
was
much.
already like by the time I watched the one, it was already campy and it was like from the 80s and it was
Yeah.
too much. And like Jack Frost was like 90s horror.
Yeah.
And so like I haven't seen it in a few years, but probably not. Like most movies that I watch from the 90s, I end up being like really upset with.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. Most things, especially of the horror genre, don't really hold up very well as.
Dude, no, like I tried to like I was like terrified of the movie Pet Sematary, and I was like, Amanda, watch this with me. And I got her to watch it with me.
And you're like, I'm not as scared of this.
No, I was like, oh, the ghost isn't a bad guy. There's like so many things I wasn't sure about when
Yeah.
I watched it as a kid. And so, yeah, like horror is like good when you're young, and then
Once you get older.
I'm completely broken now, and like nothing scares me now. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. So I mean, that doesn't really help. So I mean, yeah, the claymation ones definitely hold up. They're still enjoyable. I'd say Jingle All the Way.
I mean, you
holds
should
up.
still hate Nazis, so.
Yeah, you should.
Jingle all no, it doesn't.
Jingle All
it
the
did
Way
not hold up
is
in the time it
still-
came out. It was campy.
It's still fun to watch.
It was
It's so fun.
No,
It's so fun when he
I
gets
disagree.
when he gets into the fight with the reindeer and he thinks that his wife is
If my
banging
children
the
found that
neighbor.
movie and tried to make me watch it, I'd be like, no, I hate you right now.
No. I love that movie still. I will disagree with you there. We
Have you watched it?
Have I watched it? Yeah, I watched it like 2 years ago. I haven't watched it like this year.
It's definitely not. It doesn't hold up for 2018.
It's not a 2018 hold up.
2018.
It's not a contender in the 2018s. White Christmas makes more sense now. It doesn't necessarily hold up.
What happened to Sinbad?
I don't know what happened. Well, there was that time where everybody thought he was dead.
What's the next thing we're talking about?
I don't know.
Talking about
Like this
movies
is
that really.
well, this is like movies that hold up, or I would say like even have a different meaning. Like Jack Frost as a kid, like the one with Michael Keaton, not the one that you're talking about, but the one with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Jack Frost.
That was.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack gosh eyes with candlesticks. And...
Is that from the movie?
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool.
I would go farther, but I don't know how much becomes a problem.
Yeah, we're gonna stop it there.
At least the first two lines, that's the regular poem, and then it gets more violent as it goes past that part.
But,
I don't know. I might watch it again now. I might make my kids watch it.
So no, but the Michael Keaton Jack Frost. That one, when you were a kid, you're kind of like, oh man, this is a sad movie.
This movie is always a sad. That's just a
But
sad movie.
as an adult, especially if you have kids, that one's even more sad. Like as a father.
I haven't watched it since having kids. So
I watched it since having Emma, and I was just like, oh my
I can't wait to buy her Monica.
god. If you play this, I'll come back from that.
As a snowman, and then you'll also watch me die again.
Oh
You know,
my
that's
God.
the messed up part about that
Yeah,
movie.
that movie.
It's not the fact that the kid lost
dark.
his dad. It's the fact that he was.
twice.
Yeah. And he had to watch him melt. Like, the first time he
Yeah.
didn't see his dad die.
I mean, except for his dad died like crazy, like violently the first time. This was like a really bad car accident.
How come nobody else died? Like, oh no, that's right. He was like rushing home, right?
Yeah, it was just him in the car.
Because I was like, because he was with his whole band.
He promised he would be there by Christmas.
That movie was like one of the movies when I realized I kind of like blues music.
Everybody likes blues music.
It's not true. It's like really not true.
I think deep down inside everybody. I've had this
Have
conversation.
you listened to
with
just blues music? Like,
Yeah.
have you listened to like Howlin' Wolf? The recordings are bad, so it's like hard to really get a good judgment.
I had this whole conversation with somebody.
What was the movie that came out like about the blues and it had like I loved that movie. That's not a Christmas movie. But that was great.
Yeah, we'll get into that like at
fuck,
another
what
time.
is that? Most
Let's not.
he's not the most important person in that movie either.
Let's not get off into a tangent on blues music. But no, blues music is great. But Jack Frost, I mean, it's a very sad movie. It's definitely, as an adult, it gets sadder, especially when you have kids.
I want to watch it now.
I mean, that's your choice. It's your prerogative.
Christmas with the Cranks. See, I respect that movie now.
No.
As an adult now, I get that. Like, because I totally want to bail on every single thing that has to go to see my family.
Oh.
No camera. Does it stop recording when it does that, or?
Yeah, it does.
How long is it?
I have absolutely no idea. It wasn't on like a couple of seconds ago.
Okay, so it probably got that part.
Yeah, probably got the part where you say you don't want to be with your family during Christmas.
True facts.
True facts. But no, I mean, Christmas with the Cranks, yeah, no, it does actually make more sense when you're an adult.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you're just like,
exactly. Like, why wouldn't you want to put a?
I wasn't a kid when I saw that movie. That movie came out as I was an adult.
No, we were like, because I was closer to an adult when that movie came out. You were definitely like maybe a teenager.
Yeah, I was basically, for one, I grew up quick. Like, I was an adult before I was an adult.
Yeah.
I lived a fun lifestyle.
I'll give you that. We'll clarify.
I knew how to cook dinner by the time I was like 13.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna have to have an episode where we explain all of these like asides that we do that like you and me know that nobody else knows.
Everybody's like,
it's gonna be a very deep, very fucked up podcast if we do it. But sticking to Christmas,
how do you feel about Hallmark movies?
Okay, we'll jump.
Movie. Hallmark movie.
Hallmark movie.
It's Hallmark movie.
Yeah, I mean,
they can put as many different names on the characters as they want, but when Sally, the strung-out businesswoman, comes to the small town and meets Jeffrey the baker,
and Jeffrey helps her
falls
reconnect
deeply in love as she finds herself again
and reconnects with the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah. Before her big business husband comes back. And shows her. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's always fiance.
It's always fiance.
Because it's got to be a last minute thing where she ditches him at the wedding or something.
Or right before the wedding. Whereas it was going to be like a January wedding.
Comes back and shows what big city life is so dicky for.
Yeah, and she chooses to stay. And it's always the town that she grew up in. But not everywhere.
It's not always the town. Sometimes it's like she's going to do like an interview. Small town or something.
Sometimes. Not as.
It depends on her career.
Very true. But like my mom is super into these, and like I'm not gonna shit on them too much because
my sister loves them and she understands that that's exactly what it is. It's the same plot for every single one. They don't care.
Because what it is it's Hallmark found to connect emotionally. You need to do these things. You need to have these things to connect emotionally. And the only thing that differentiates it is really the character's name and things like that. Yeah, little things. But in the end, it's the same exact story.
On a rare occasion, a male is the protagonist,
but
not that often. Which is why
very rarely.
I haven't told you this, but
you tried out for a Hallmark movie.
I wish.
I feel like that was the way that this was going.
You're like to start a Hallmark movie. Like, yeah, you know what? You know why is it always some like sexy businessman who loses his sexy girlfriend to the sexy baker?
Yeah.
Like, why isn't it ever just like
everybody's always attractive?
Why does she ever come home and she's like, I really love this chubby guy with a funny personality?
It'd be more realistic.
No, it wouldn't, but it'd be great. I would enjoy them then.
A lot.
I'd be able to watch them if I could relate.
A lot more people like us would enjoy them if we could relate to them.
She fell in love with a ginger. Like,
I have hope now. Even though I'm married, I have hope now.
Maybe my wife will fall in love with a business exec and I can fall in love It's some small town baker. I don't know.
She'll love me for who I am. And she'll help me really love Christmas again.
I need the Christmas spirit thing. But no. I came up with this great idea where another movie company that only makes the same movie, Lifetime. Okay. Which I don't know if they're still Lifetime. Aren't they like something else now, like Oxygen or WVMN or something?
No, those are all different companies.
They make the same movies.
They do all make the same movies.
But Lifetime and Hallmark should get together and they should make the movie where Rebecca, the big town business exec lady, comes in town. She falls in love with a small town baker whose evil twin brother comes in town, tries to murder everybody. Right? Also, she's escaping her abusive husband.
I feel like Lifetime, the abusive husband part.
She's running away from her abusive husband, who she has a restraining order on, who doesn't know she ran to small town, and then she falls in love with the baker, who doesn't know what she's there for, because she's pretending to be someone else, and then his twin brother is the evil baker, or is the evil brother or husband, fiance. It's the evil fiance.
Wouldn't she know about him then? Unless they hated each other.
No. It's always a secret. They never know about the evil twin brother.
It's like a secret love. Like
They were both adopted. They were adopted.
Both adopted. They adopted different families.
That's how Lifetime movies work. Isn't it always the evil twin that was adopted and then they find out
that works then?
Yeah. No. So see, this is what they need to do, and then they need to like bring me on board as like a
consultant.
Yes. Lifetime, Hallmark. Make this movie and let me just talk about it.
Make this happen.
Tell you how to do it.
But no, just back onto just Hallmark in particular.
No, because this is great though, because my love of horror and Christmas, and I feel like that's perfect.
Except for it wouldn't really be horror. It's just
I don't know. I feel like abusive relationships are scary. That's kind of a lot. You're getting to the point where you're about to get to the letters again. It's double what we are.
There was still soda in there though. So we can't really tell.
There's also still rum in there.
That's true. I don't have a drinking problem. I only drink during these podcasts.
We drink rum every day because we are the Rum Runnas.
No, I do most of the running.
When we get our party boat.
I don't do any running. I'm very sedentary. It's a very blind pour now that we have like a microphone in our way. It's very different. But yeah, so back onto Hallmark. Not just Hallmark in life. What I've noticed, and these are just the tropes. These are the tropes that make a Hallmark movie a Hallmark movie.
Sarah,
there's it's not
a small town.
Let's make it slightly more vague. It's always someone that isn't ready for love, because it could be a man, it could be a woman.
No, because they're always like engaged.
No, not always. Sometimes they're single.
90% of the time.
I've watched a whole bunch of them because of my mom. Because I was like, you know what, we're doing this podcast.
How about the fact that Netflix is now making Hallmark style movies?
They are.
Have you seen the Princess one or whatever? Where it's like Vanessa Hudgens is like, well, she's a.
No, I just know that they're making like Hallmark style movies.
This is the weirdest one because it goes back to that secret twin thing, but they're not twins, I guess.
Okay.
Amanda was watching this, and it was like Vanessa Hudgens is both this lady who's engaged to marry this prince, and she's also like this small town lady who is a baker. Ironically, going to like this baking competition.
Okay.
And like they swap, and
so
then they fall in love with
each other. Movie?
I guess, but they fall in love with each other's.
Should not say each other.
Like
I was gonna say that's
the baker lady. The baker lady falls in love with the prince. That's a little different. And then the lady who's like a duchess falls in love with the small town baker. So it gives it all. It has all of it.
It covers all of the bases.
It has the twins. It's got. But they're not like twins. They're not related in any way, I don't think. I don't know. I barely paid attention.
Yeah,
because I lose interest real quick.
I feel like if you're going to talk about the movie in depth as much as
I watched a lot. I know that much. I know all of those things. I know who wins the baker.
Okay.
Because it's obvious. Because it's definitely Vanessa Hudgens.
Of course. Why would she lose? She's Vanessa Hudgens.
That part got really confusing, though, where I was like, Amanda, who is who right now? Because I didn't know that they switched back.
Oh.
Spoilers? This movie's super new.
Yeah, because if it's a Netflix one, it has to be like brand new. So
don't watch it.
Okay. But no, so let's stay on track. Remember, we're trying to be on track.
It was related. It's Netflix is making very Hallmark style Christmas movies right now.
So they are.
So we're talking about Hallmark type movies.
I felt like we were starting down the road of a tangent.
No, it's super reminds me of.
Okay. Well,
Hallmark
what's
movies.
funny is there is a Hallmark movie that I saw with my mom like last week. No, it doesn't have Vanessa Hudgens, but it does have a prince.
Well, duh.
Well, no, like a legit prince, and he's in like a castle, and it follows Winnie from the Wonder Years actually, and she's in it, and she's like,
she's in it.
No, she's like,
No, she isn't.
What the hell are they called? Like they like stay in rich people's houses and watch their kids. There's like an actual term for it, but that's what she's doing.
Nanny.
Yeah, but there's like a
British term.
There's like a fancy term for it. Yeah, so it's basically that. But it's just funny because it's once again a prince and the woman that's not, a princess and everything like that. But it's always either someone that's not ready for love or they're in the wrong relationship. So it's some sort of weird kind of love thing. They always have some sort of disconnect from Christmas. Also, have you noticed that?
Yeah. They all hate Christmas or whatever.
They either hate Christmas or they're just like
for so long that they've just been.
Not only it's either that or like the person that made them love Christmas died. So it's like their grandmother. It's always the grandmother.
You know what else is always
grandmother made me love Christmas, and ever since she died, I've never been able to love it as much. It makes me so sad.
There's always one guy who you're like, is he magic? And you don't know, and they never explain.
That hasn't been happening as much.
Not as much,
Hallmark
but I remember there's an old guy, and he used to be like classic for it. I don't know who he is or anything about him, but he was bald, and he was in a lot of those back in the day.
Is this harkening back to the first podcast where it should be someone that we know? But it's
no, because I don't think he's not Malcolm McDowell.
It's not Malcolm McDowell.
I don't think I've ever known his name, but he's in a lot of stuff, and he was in like a lot of like Christmas movies. And he was like, there's like one specifically where like he was like the boss of the love interest guy, and it was something like that. It was like a nanny or whatever, and like he would like show up and be like, I think he likes you.
Oh, it's the matchmaker character.
Yeah, he like
kind of
pushes it, but at the same time you're like, is that fucking Santa Claus? Like because he was like sort of like there's like things
an old guy with a white beard.
Yeah, and there was like mysterious things where you're like, I think he's magic, and then like at the end he's like, yep. Wink, and then he's just gone.
He's breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah,
like I knew it was.
Like there's like there's always like that guy. Well, there used to be always that guy. That was like a big deal, like mid 2000s.
I would say mid 2000s. That was a big one because there was a big thing on like the fate. Like everything was fated to happen. Everything was gonna happen. It was gonna happen.
You know what?
It's
I
a little
just
bit more
realized.
Organic now.
I just realized an old movie that still holds up.
Okay.
The Olsen Twins Christmas movie, whatever.
I don't remember that one as much. I remember the Olsen.
I feel like I would like it again because I don't remember it.
I remember the Olsen Twins Halloween one.
Double Trouble.
Double. Wait, no. Double. It was Double Toil and Trouble.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't remember their Christmas
one.
There
was a Christmas one. I think that would totally be still good. I think I would still like that one actually.
Because theirs were pretty. Because it's not fresh in your mind.
Yeah, but also because it was like plain in a way where it wasn't the same as everything else.
True.
It was different.
I'll give you that.
And they stole a sleigh at some point. I thought that was funny.
I'm kind of remembering it slightly more now that you mentioned that part.
That's the part I remember.
But it doesn't like stick out in my head enough.
Which is why I think that would hold up now. Because like if you don't remember something, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different when you exactly remember every part of a movie and then you watch it again. Which you're like,
for most
this is gross now.
Yeah, with most movies, that's kind of how I am. But yeah, so I mean,
that's usually why I only watch movies once. Like, I'm not one of those people. I can only read a book once. I can only watch a movie once.
I can enjoy something like a lot of times.
I can't.
I also lose myself in characters and stuff like that, so that's another thing that kind of does it. I just became cognizant of the fact that before I speak, sometimes I go. I just realized that because of this microphone.
No, all movies are M. Night Shyamalan movies to me.
Oh my god.
Except Evil Dead. I'll watch that always.
Okay, good to know. But
that should be a Christmas movie.
But another trope that's in Hallmark movies, just to bring it back, that their houses are fucking gigantic.
So gigantic.
Their houses are so nice.
Nobody ever
Even if it's a small town, you're kind of like,
it's a nanny.
This is a 6-bedroom house with like so many bathrooms, and it's fucking 4,000 square feet. and it was made in 1903, and it still has the original fucking bones to it, and it's just been updated. The fucking kitchen though is gorgeous. It's fucking 3 stoves. It's always and nobody's ever working.
Exactly. Yet they somehow have the ability to go on a Wednesday lunch date.
Yeah, and they're always like, it's the Christmas season. It's like suspension of disbelief, but it's Christmas season.
That's such a lie. I work twice as much during Christmas.
Hardly anybody has off. If you're not a teacher, you do not have off for Christmas. I don't give a fuck what you do. You don't have off for Christmas.
No, but wait, though, because that goes back to there are some times in those movies where there's work, because it depends on what's happening. If it's a small town baker, he's never at work. Unless there's like a romantic moment in the bakery. Yeah. They're not working though. They're like cleaning up. It's always cleaning up. It's at the end of the day. They're never actually working.
It's either they're cleaning up or they're about to open. It's sometimes where it's like, you shouldn't be showing up here, but I'm going to make the time for you.
But if they go with the trope where it's the live-in nanny taking care of the daughter or whatever, then the dude will disappear for like weeks on end.
Yeah.
And the lady has time to bond with the daughter, who then pushes the relationship between the daughter and the mom and the nanny.
That's if it takes place like before Christmas. Like, because that's when, like, if it's
because then immediately then the dad's home every day for the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly. Once the daughter decides, I need to get my nanny with my dad, then it turns into, by the way, I have off of work for the next 2 weeks until Christmas.
Although, again, though, I hate to be the guy that like gives these movies credit, but
I'm not shitting on the movies.
But occasionally in those situations,
you're getting upset that you're
no. This is that part where like I overanalyze everything. There are the ones where that's the thing where like the daughter's like, I have to get them together now, but then she has to actively get her dad not to work anymore. And like I've seen the ones where like there's the ones where like the nanny gets fired because she's like, by the way, your daughter misses you, and he's like, what, bitch? Fuck you. You gonna tell me how to raise my kid? And then he like fires her, and then like 2 days later, he's like, I didn't know I needed to spend time with my daughter because he had to take off of work because he didn't have a nanny anymore. Exactly. And then he's like, I miss you. And then that's the end of the movie.
I feel like that's how the Hallmark movie should actually end. It should kind of just be like, Merry Christmas to my mom.
My wife hates it when I'm like, and she's like, that's not what he wants. And I'm like, that's definitely what he wants. Like, there's no dude that's like, I love you first. There's like, I want to fuck you, and then it's after I put my penis inside of you, I decide that I love you. It's true. And that's only in the moment after, and then like 10 minutes later, he's like, I don't remember what I liked about you. That's why like for the first like 6 months of a relationship, you have to bang like 4 times a day, because the dude will be like, I forgot what I liked. As soon as he gets what he's looking for.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to argue with you too much there, but I mean, it's kind of off topic. But no, I mean,
it's totally on topic, because every single one of those movies, the only reason the romantic situation happens is not because he's like, I love the way you take care of my daughter. It's, I want to fuck you.
It's true, though. I mean, that's the underlying reason for everything that happens, because like no guy goes to that much trouble unless he's like, I really, really, really want to be inside you right now. That's the underlying explanation for everything. He might like Christmas. Yeah, he might want to love his daughter.
No. Because remember, the trope in all these movies is everybody hates Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I there's been a couple that I've seen now.
Well, in that situation,
they did like Christmas. There was one person that loved it and one person that didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
And the other person helped the other person learn how to love.
But in a situation like that one, in that specific type of movie, where it's the dad's a businessman. Yeah, that's the one where the dad doesn't care about Christmas. Because he's got to work.
Never.
He's got to be at work. He doesn't care.
The nanny always cares about Christmas. The business dad never cares about Christmas.
It's the bakery ones.
Whoever's more successful doesn't care about business. Or doesn't care about Christmas.
Whoever's in business.
Whoever's in business or law, because lawyers are a big one too. And I'm like, how do you just disappear from your clients for weeks on end and just go to a small town in Colorado for weeks on end?
Oh, no. There's always an explanation. Those ones, there's always an explanation. When it's like some lady.
So many where it's not planned. Where they're just like, we just came here to divvy up grandma's estate. And that's the only reason that they came there. And they're gone for fucking weeks then. And I'm like, wait. Are you just burning through vacation time? Like, are you the CEO? What the fuck is going on?
Maybe they're getting better now. Maybe I don't remember when I watched these ones, but there's totally ones where it's like the lady is the big time business lady, and they're like,
empowerment.
Her boss comes up and she's like, the boss loves Christmas for some reason, and the boss is like, you need to go home and visit your family for a while. You need a break. You work too hard. No, but it's these ones. There's also a lot of them where like you need to take a break, and then the boss sends them home, and then they'll be home for like. No. It's only for like 5 seconds in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I always miss the beginning of these movies.
Then they're in like
always.
Then they're in the small town, and there's always that one phone call where they're like, "I'm just gonna be a couple more weeks,"
and like they're like, "Take as much time as you need."
Exactly. So you see that part.
Yeah.
But like, it always starts with. It always starts with the boss. The boss is the one that's like, "You need to go on a vacation." They're like, "Nah, fuck Christmas." And then they get there and they meet some baker, and they're like, "You know what? I'm gonna fuck Mr. Christmas."
I need some Saint Nick all up in me.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the magic Christmas man.
That's the spirit of Christmas. The spirit of Christmas is dick. Okay? that's what it is. You can hashtag that. Hashtag spirit of Christmas is dick. Let's continue on. Let's start. There's one thing that I wanted to talk about that we kind of skipped over. So I wanted to do it before the Hallmark stuff, but. No, not that. That's what we're going to end out on.
Weird Christmas.
Exactly, weird Christmas movies. And I'm only saying this because I know.
I brought it up.
Because you brought it up, and I was like, what the fuck do you mean that's what you watch? We need to talk about this now.
Okay, so I was working at Blockbuster, and the movie Superbad was released like early December or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was in love with that movie because it had a fat guy who got a hot chick.
Yeah.
And everybody.
And Stone.
Also, yeah.
You look at me like I'm fucking crazy. I remember Emma Stone.
I remember names for a minute. I forgot things.
Yeah, because that was when she was hot and redhead.
But she's blonde. I don't like blonde. I like the red hair.
When she was redheaded Emma Stone, I was like,
Blonde Emma Stone looks like she's too good for us now.
I know she does. Like when she was redhead, it was kind of like I feel
she was like redhead.
You could relate to me a little bit more.
She was like
she went blonde,
and she was like on our level.
She was like that.
That's what I like.
She was that perfect amount of joke where you're just kind of like you are just the hot girl in school.
Like what I always want is like a 6 or a 7. I don't want like more than that. I had 10s.
Yeah, she went.
And I was like,
they're
cunts.
Like a 9 or 10.
10s are cunts.
Yeah.
And you don't want those. Like they're bitches. They're not fun people to be around. Like I was like, I hate everything about this.
Yeah.
But so I would watch Superbad like every Christmas Eve because I was obsessed with that movie.
Just because of plot, or just because of that one time that you watched it? It was around Christmas.
No, because I watched it in the theaters.
Like what set it off? That you were like, I associate this now with Christmas.
It was because so like I don't have a relationship with my father.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, I rented that movie from work.
Yeah.
I think we weren't allowed to get it early for some. There's something weird with that one where it was like hung up where we couldn't watch it for a while, like as employees.
It's probably also just because Blockbuster was starting its crumble.
No. I got out before that happened. It was fine at this point still. And so I rented it and I went to my dad's to watch it with him. And while he was like wrapping presents and shit, I was just hanging out with him watching Superbad.
Okay, so it's the environment. It kind of like it created what's the word I'm looking for? It created an event.
Yeah, and then like I did it by accident again the next year, and then after that it was just like, well, I watched Superbad on Christmas Eve now.
You're like, this is just a Christmas movie for me now.
I mean, yeah, honestly, like there's only like a couple times where I haven't, and like last year it was because I watched F for Family on Netflix for some. I just watched like the entire thing.
That's like a Bill Burr show, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. It's funny.
Yeah,
but like
I heard it's good.
For like years though, Superbad was like my Christmas Eve movie.
It's such an awkward.
I mean, I'm over it now.
You're over it now?
I mean, I'm over the movie now because I watched it too many times.
But I mean, if you only watch it at Christmas, then you wouldn't be.
I watched it too many times. I watched it like all of December that first time.
Oh, okay.
And then every Christmas Eve after that.
I got you.
So yeah, because I loved that movie.
You've taken like a little hiatus from it. Give it like another year hiatus and then go back to it.
I don't know. I might try it this year because I still like that's my favorite movie to quote. Because every time someone's like, I hit on a girl, and I'm like, oh yeah, did it work out? And they're like, no. I'm like, did you tell her what time it was? And like that's like my favorite thing to insult people with.
Yeah. I've been in the receiving end of that one.
I know.
Multiple times.
You didn't tell her what time it was.
I never told her what time it was. That was apparently my issue. See, for me, it's a lot more. The thing that I always watch around Christmas, I believe it to be a Christmas movie. I don't give a shit what the creator of it says or what anybody says. It's a Christmas movie. It's Die Hard. Die Hard and Die Hard 2 are Christmas movies. I don't give a fuck. They're Christmas movies. That's fucking.
I love offending you when there's like movies like that. I say I've never seen.
So blasphemous. It's such a good movie. It's a great movie on top of just being a Christmas movie. But no, the great thing about Die Hard is it's this ridiculous action movie that it focuses so much on the fact that it's around Christmas, like because it's so just irritating and it's so inconvenient that it's happening at that time that he just mentions it over and over and over again, like the famous scene of him just crawling through the air duct.
Well, that makes it a Christmas movie though. Like that's a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
Like The Gremlins is a Christmas movie just because it happens around Christmas. Yeah. Nobody associates Gremlins with being a Christmas movie, but they literally destroy Christmas presents and shit and trees.
They do, and lights, and they like turn that into like a trap and shit.
Yeah,
there's these tons of things.
Like Gremlins doesn't count as a Christmas movie, which it should. Like honestly, I'm gonna watch Gremlins now. Like I haven't seen it in forever.
That's what more people should do. They should watch movies that aren't necessarily holiday movies, but just take place during Christmas that are great movies. Watch Die Hard. Watch Gremlins. Watch
Edward
Scissorhands. Just watch things that you enjoy that kind of have to do with Christmas.
You know what makes me mad?
And you'll have a more enjoyable experience.
Makes me mad? When my kids try to watch Nightmare Before Christmas on Halloween. Why is that a Halloween movie? That was a Christmas movie to me as a kid, and now it's a Halloween movie.
It's because
it's not a Halloween movie. They're from Halloween Town or whatever
exactly.
Like, no, that's a Christmas movie. It's about Christmas. It's for Christmas.
It has Christmas
Santa Claus at the end.
In the fucking title. It doesn't say Halloween Before Christmas. It says Nightmare, so it's just the setting is just scary shit. Before Christmas. It says Christmas in it.
It makes me so mad when people are like, well, I watched Nightmare Before Christmas for Halloween. I'm like, you're a bad person, man. It's a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
I don't know how that got disassociated.
It takes place during Halloween at like 2 points.
When we were kids, it was a Christmas movie. Like, that's when I watched it. It was during Christmas. My parents put it on Christmas. I don't know how it got fucked up. But that's a Christmas movie that needs to be reassociated with Christmas. It's because
now people just go, there's skeletons, and there's the boogeyman, and there's ghosts and shit, and there's witches.
It's about kidnapping Santa Claus and becoming Santa Claus.
Becoming Santa Claus because...
It's basically the Santa Claus before the Santa Claus happened.
Oh my god, it kind of is. If you think that's another great movie. That was a great movie as a kid. I don't think it holds up as much.
Oh, it totally does, though.
It does?
I still love that movie. Not any of the sequels.
Okay.
The third one is garbage.
I'm thinking of it as a whole. I'm thinking of Santa Claus 1, Santa Claus 2, Santa Claus 3.
Just the first one.
Just the first one?
The first one still holds up.
Okay.
I've seen the first one as an adult, and it still holds up.
Okay.
None of the other ones.
That was a great movie, though.
Because then you're talking about, like, early 2000, like, camp, like, when they made Home Alone 3, and it was like...
When they were just going back to
a new kid, and it was garbage.
Yeah, that was really garbage. Home Alone, actually, that's another one. That's a holiday movie. Think about it.
I already watched it this year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Home Alone is just...
It wasn't even December yet.
It's another one because it takes place around Christmas.
But I think that, you know what, nobody really does watch it for Christmas.
No one does.
When I was a kid, again, that was a Christmas movie.
Because it came on ABC around Christmas.
You know what Christmas movie I hate?
What?
A Christmas Story.
Oh my god.
Maybe because I had so many people that made me watch it all 24 hours it's on for Christmas.
When I was younger, I didn't understand it. And then I got a little bit older and I was like, I kind of like this movie. And then I watched it and I was like, this is still on. I can't watch this movie anymore. Why do people watch this for 24 hours straight?
I went from,
what the fuck is wrong with me?
This movie kind of scares me to, no, I just don't like this movie.
I don't mind the movie. It's
when you're a kid, it's scary because
it's a weird movie.
The Santa Claus scene where he kicks him in the face, that's creepy. That's terrifying.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Bam. And then again, because the fact that I was a kid that couldn't pay attention or sit still for more than 5 minutes, I would only watch bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
So I would see that scene. I would see the scene where he shot his eye out. To me, it was a horror movie. It might as well have been. I was scared.
Because I've seen the whole thing. I've sat through it. I've watched it. I remember watching
it. It's 5 hours long.
It's so long. And then they play it for 24 fucking hours. It's insane.
Fuck that movie.
It's fucking crazy. Like it would be a better movie if they played it once, maybe twice during the holiday.
Like every other Christmas
like
movie?
every other fucking. Why is it that movie gets special fucking treatment and they play it? Now, no other movie gets that treatment.
Don't they do something like that? Maybe not.
No.
I thought they did Christmas Vacation. They did something like that too. They played it a lot.
They play it a lot, but they don't play it for 24 hours straight consecutively.
I still like that one.
Yeah, there's
the second one more than the first one, which might be the wrong thing to say, but
what Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's?
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
They're both great.
I think I like the second one more.
The second one is where he fucking greased up the aluminum saucer.
Yeah.
And he fucking went down the hill.
Yeah.
No, that scene alone makes it a better movie.
Yeah.
Because that scene by itself sets the whole movie for me. I look forward to that scene, and then that scene happens, and I go, I'm happy. I'm happy for the rest of this fucking thing. But no, at this point we are gonna actually say, officially spoilers.
Spoilers.
Because
they're not
both
movies.
of these movies are like they're very new movies. So
one's okay and one's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed both of them, but the movies that we're going to be reviewing kind of are the Christmas Chronicles and The Man Who Invented Christmas.
Yes.
So
I told him to watch these.
Yes, he
I
did.
liked them.
Yes, he did suggest both of them, and I watched them, and I've watched them pretty recently because I wanted them to be fresh.
I watched them recently also.
I mean, I've watched them in the past 2 days.
We watched them days apart. I think I told you to watch.
No,
I watched last weekend.
I watched Christmas Chronicles 2 nights ago, and I watched The Man Who Invented Christmas, literally yesterday.
I watched them a week ago.
About a week ago. Okay, so Christmas Chronicles. If you don't know what Christmas Chronicles is, it's I don't know why I just said it.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original.
Kurt Russell.
It has Kurt Russell as Santa Claus, and it was kind of touted in the.
So here's my favorite part.
Well, in the previews, it was touted as being very different.
It was very not different
Than every other thing, because they were like, forget Santa as you know him. This is
exactly
different
like
Santa.
the Santa Claus.
It basically was. It was, and that's actually one of the pet peeves that I had about it. Was that no, I know it's
I
not
like the Santa Claus, and I said it holds up.
no, it's not that. I'm not saying.
Wait.
I'm saying that it was marketed as it was going to be very different than any Christmas movie that you've ever seen,
Every movie always is.
and it wasn't. So what was your initial impression of it?
So first of all, you got to remember that I have to add how I remember certain actors from movies in new movies and stuff. So
Okay.
I decided while at the beginning of this movie that this was the Santa Claus, but what had happened was Snake Plissken had killed Tim Allen and put on the suit and became Santa Claus.
Wow.
It changes the whole movie when you think of it that way.
He grew his eye back? Magic?
Yeah, because he also
Christmas
grew a beard and shit because
Christmas
of it.
magic?
Yeah, man, Christmas magic. Tim Allen got all fat and grew a beard in like a day.
It's true. Constantly. Every time you shave.
Santa Claus has 2 eyes, so Snake Plissken clearly had to get his eyes back. And Amanda didn't get it because she'd never seen Escape from New York or LA. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's Snake Plissken. And Snake Plissken is Santa Claus now. So, like,
that does change a lot of the movie.
That's how I watched the entire movie. And I loved it all the way up until the point that the little girl went into the bag and was like, look at these fake fucking elves.
See, this is where we differ. And I mean, I thought the elves were fucking adorable.
Look at these rip-off minions.
Yes. I mean, that's a pet peeve that I have with family movies in general now, is that everybody is trying to make their own minions.
Yeah, the way they spoke.
Yeah.
Everything about them.
Yeah, but they were the thing that I loved about the elves was that they actually all had their own personalities.
I hated it.
Specifically, the one with the chainsaw.
I hate.
You can't tell me
in general.
that if it was practical effects, let's just say they went the route of Gremlins and they kind of look like Mogwai.
It should have just been little people or children, like how I want. my
It's
elves
because
should be.
you're almost now obsessed with the Santa Claus because the Santa Claus was all children as elves.
That's typical. Like my kids were just watching a Christmas movie today, and there was 2 elves, and they were both just children
Yeah, but no,
helping a child.
I thought that they were cute. I thought that they were interesting, and I liked the one with the chainsaw. That one with the chainsaw was kind of psychotic, and I loved
I hated
that
everything
one.
about the elves, and after that moment, I kind of stopped watching the movie.
No, I just
It was great when it was sort of the Santa Claus meets. Oh, what was the babysitter? I guess it was just called the babysitter.
Adventures in Babysitter.
That one, yeah.
Okay.
When it was the Santa Claus.
Crush on Elizabeth Shue.
I'm thinking of a different one.
Elizabeth, I'm pretty sure Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, no.
She was the babysitter.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like, fucking Christina Applegate was in it. But that's also on the Babysitter's Dead.
Yeah, different one.
But yeah, no. In my mind, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, this is basically the Santa Claus meets
Adventures in Babysitting.
Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah.
And I despised the elves. I hated everything about them, and I was done with the movie at that point.
See, I expected weird shit like that to be in the movie.
It would have been cool if it wasn't little crappy CGI. No.
So you just have a hatred for CGI. So did you hate the reindeer? The reindeer were all CGI also.
That's different. They mostly look like reindeer. They didn't look like little made-up fake minions.
Okay. I mean, well, once again, it's depending on your taste. If you don't have an issue with minions,
It was an okay movie. I hated the elves. I
Okay.
didn't hate the movie. I hated the elves, and it kind of ruined the rest of the movie for me. I would have liked it, and even the ending was fine. But what is the whole thing with why did dads have to die?
Oh my God, was
It seems unnecessary.
okay? Did you have the same realization that I did, where you're watching it, and by the time that it got to 2014, you're like, I have a feeling that one of these parents is gonna die.
I knew the dad was gonna die.
See,
There's something about it that like explained it, and then like the way they just kind of wrote it off, like it wasn't even explained. It was just like, Dad would have decorated, and I'm like, well, why isn't Dad decorated? Like they don't say he's dead yet until like almost the end.
I think they do say that he's dead.
No,
I could have swore that they said that he was dead. They said that he was gone. Yeah.
It doesn't really.
They never specified died, and they never specified how he died until
Yeah,
at the end.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird because like I remember when I was watching it and like they're having that conversation on the stairs, and I'm like, whoa, wait, that's like a service photo. Like either he's a police officer or
I thought he died in like a war.
Yeah, I was
I thought it was like a military uniform.
yeah, I'm like that's very.
And then he was like, if he didn't run into that house while it was on fire, I'm like,
I was like, damn,
that's not a fireman uniform.
that's a fucked up way to go too.
Oh my God. So
Yeah,
cool.
like that's I feel like they kind of should have spent more time on that because
Dude, no, the best part of the whole thing is super spoilers because it's definitely the ending of the movie.
we've already said
I just gotta emphasize
it's
this
a,
part.
it's a
This is-
spoiler
this
for
is
the
end.
whole thing.
The greatest part though was when they walk in the house and Mom's like, "This is how Dad would have done it," and the children are like, "Yeah, totally."
This was all us.
Meanwhile, on their faces, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I liked the movie. It was a good movie. I don't have the hatred of the elves that you have.
I
But-
love the part though. Also, I love the part where the mom is like, "Huh, that's a weird gift. I didn't buy you that."
Oh my God, yeah.
Because like they never explain it. Like in a movie like Santa Claus gives all the presents, and the parents are just like, "Yeah, that's totally cool."
Yeah,
But in this one, the mom's
we
like,
totally-
"What the fuck?"
We totally bought that for you. Yeah, we totally know that. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's always a weird thing about these movies. You know, when you have Santa Claus in there, it's like Santa Claus drops off like a singular item to each kid, which you also love, right? Like you love that, like in these things, it's like Santa Claus doesn't deliver all the presents.
Well, it depends.
Presidents. He doesn't deliver the presidents. He delivers them. He doesn't deliver all the presents. He delivers
Donald Trump was given
one.
to America by Santa Claus.
Oh my God. But he delivers one particular present to every kid. It's the
It
one that they
depends on
want
the
them.
movie. It depends on the movie.
It is dependent. But in this one in particular, it was always one.
Because Santa Claus, in the Santa Claus, he delivered like half of the presents.
Yeah, fucking a lot. Which if you think about it, wouldn't the parents be like, I don't remember.
I don't remember buying you a surfboard.
I don't
Because I think
remember.
you pulled shit like that out.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
things like the parents would definitely be like, "I didn't buy that."
in Christmas Chronicles in particular, he delivered a fucking snowboard. I was like,
that's a big gift. That's expensive.
exactly.
Gift.
Like the parents wouldn't be like, this is weird now, because they set it up kind of like how if you're older than a certain point, you don't believe in Santa Claus, and you understand. But if you're younger than a certain point, you do believe. But then at the same point, I don't think anybody would stop believing ever if things showed up that you didn't buy. Like if someone brought my daughter something and it said from Santa Claus and it had a completely different set of handwriting than I had, and also it was like a gift that I was like, I would fucking remember buying this. This is humongous, or this is insanely expensive, and I never would have been able to get this.
Or it's like that one gift that nobody has because it's sold out immediately.
Exactly.
That's how it shows up.
Nobody would stop believing. I would never have stopped believing. If gifts always showed up under the tree for me that I wanted, and at least one, I never would have stopped believing.
All right, so like there's this book I read called Monster, and it was about like a monster hunter who was a monster guy, kind of.
Okay.
And then like this chick who was like sort of in and out. And like what would happen though is like the idea was that like people, their brains couldn't handle the creatures. So after seeing it, they would immediately
Let me borrow that book. Actually, I have that book still.
It's kind of like that because I was looking for it and I was like, I'm gonna read this again.
Yeah, it's the one where the guy, he's a wizard
or something.
Yeah, he's a wizard. He's a wizard, and he's basically an exterminator.
Yeah.
And he exterminates magical creatures, and it's what it's. I'm not gonna give away too much because like one of our things kind of is contingent on this idea, but there's different levels of believing. Your brain can't process magical things. There's either you can totally process magical things, you can process it as long as you're around it, or
you're just oblivious.
You're completely oblivious, and your brain will rationalize anything.
Maybe that's how Santa Claus works.
Oh my God, maybe that's cracked the code.
Maybe there's a bunch of presents, and I'm like, man, I bought all of these.
I totally bought this.
I totally did buy that.
Maybe that is the code. Maybe that is how it works. maybe Santa Claus is real. Maybe Santa Claus delivers all these presents, or he delivers a present, and in our brains, once you hit a certain age, you just rationalize and you go, I probably bought that. Yeah.
Especially because a lot of parents buy shit like way in advance. So
oh my God, yeah. So you're just like, I probably bought that in like, I bought that probably.
I bought that around her birthday.
September.
Yeah.
I probably bought that in like September. I bought it in September, and I've just been hiding it for a while. That's exactly what happened.
You cracked the code. Santa's real.
Santa Claus is real.
You just can't believe it.
It's just once you're over a certain age, your brain rationalizes what it can't understand. There it is.
So, how did you feel about The Man Who Invented Christmas? Because I actually liked that movie way more. I was more invested into that movie than I was the Christmas.
Yeah.
Because the moment literally the Elvis popped up, I was like, I love this movie. But
yeah.
This movie I liked.
I agree with you there. I
liked the storytelling, and I really liked the idea of a writer focusing so hard on his work that he becomes a part of it, and creating the world in his mind.
Yeah,
that was my favorite part. I think was the fantasy in it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I don't know how much of that was based off of.
Probably not.
Like probably not at all.
But I do believe Charles Dickinson probably was a dick to everybody around him.
Yeah, I probably would agree with that.
I do imagine he probably did fire his maid because she interrupted his writing process.
I can see that. Especially back in the time where he wrote it.
Because I know, like, I've been like working on like art pieces, and my wife would be like, "Why don't you color with your kids?"
And you're just like,
"Why don't you throw the kids outside?"
Yeah, you're fired.
Like, keep them away from me. They keep touching my paper.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I honestly really enjoyed the movie. I thought that it was really well done. I will say I don't consider it a holiday movie. I mean, it's a holiday movie because it takes place around holidays, and it's centered around probably one of the greatest holiday stories ever told. But I think that it legitimately is a solid film that you should and could watch all year.
It's very much a Christmas.
I
would watch it other times.
I would watch it any time of the year because it is really a character-driven drama. It is not necessarily about Christmas or a Christmas story. It is about what it's about the creative process and it's a Christmas movie.
Christmas drives the whole fucking movie.
Okay, yes.
Even though in the movie they're like, why the fuck would you give a shit about Christmas?
Exactly. Why would you pick Christmas? Which was a weird thing to hear. But no, I mean it was weird to hear that like they were just like Christmas is the most insignificant holiday.
Which is weird. Like,
Why
did you
would
not
you
know
pick
that was
that?
a thing?
Like I knew that Christmas wasn't as big before like
All right.
marketing and stuff got
Do you
into
know?
it. I
Do you know
didn't-
how it was?
like I didn't know that Charles Dickens was as responsible for making people give a shit as
I don't know
he
how
was.
true that is. I don't know how true that is, but
And that's what's
It's a
difficult
great thing.
about stories like this.
But-
I don't say this is based off of true events. It's like
it kind of coincides with like the time of how Christmas worked out. But I mean, really, Christmas was like more of an American thing than anything else. I don't even know other countries really celebrate Christmas as much as like we do
I
because
think
we're
they
like
do.
we need to spend money on everything.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume. Yeah, they do. I don't think they
Yeah,
assume.
doesn't do
I
that.
don't think they celebrate it like to the extent that we do because
And you don't need
Americans
to
are
go
just
spend 5 months worth of paychecks on like
Exactly.
your kid.
yeah exactly. So I don't think they go that far, but I think other countries care about it as much as we do.
Yeah, but like, all right, so like, what had happened was
You see, what happened was
the Holy Roman Emperor Constantine. I think that was the first one. I'm pretty sure that's the first one. He's the one who invented Catholicism.
okay. Go for it.
He invented Christians. Because he was all like, I see Jesus. If Jesus helps me murder all these people, then I believe in Jesus. And then Jesus helped me murder all these people.
He murdered a lot of people.
So what he did was he was like, all right, so this is our fuck day, Saturnalia. And what we need to do is somehow bring it to this new religion that I want to
Make
be
it
important.
coincide. Yeah.
So we're going to make this Christmas. And what had happened was,
This is when the Jesus was born.
yeah, no, I'm just, yeah, that's what he decided.
Yeah, that's what he decided.
And he was
yeah.
like, we can't get rid of our fuck day because everybody will be super pissed. So we're going to be like, all right, Jesus' birthday is on fuck day. Because it was just a fucking orgy. Like, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So,
You're getting a little into what a future podcast is supposed to be about.
no. All right, you're right.
Yeah, you totally are.
So it was a fuck day for a really long time. And Christians were
I
like,
feel like I'm gonna have to edit this out because we're gonna repeat it.
We're not. It'll be fine. I'm not going to do it. It's going to be way more in depth.
Okay.
Christians were like, we can't have this be a fuck day. And it just became like this somber, like, it wasn't like a big deal. It was kind of a sad day. It was like, oh, Jesus is born. It's like, that's cool and shit.
Oh my god, it's so sad. Jesus was born.
Well, it kind of was. It was just like this, like, all
Because
right.
he died.
That's
so
whatever.
It's sad.
It was like, all right, thank you, baby Jesus. You're not that cool. You didn't die yet. When you die, that's a big
You
deal.
didn't die yet? He would have been dead.
How about his birthday?
He wasn't dead on his birthday.
He didn't die on his birthday. Like, you don't it's different. You celebrate those dates differently. You're not like,
So you're saying
oh, Grandma, I miss
Easter.
you. Your birthday. It's your birthday today. I'm so sad you died. Not on your birthday. Well, unless your
Some
grandma
people,
died.
yeah.
Some people do it on your birthday.
But no, some people actually on their grandparents' birthday, they're more sad than on the day they died. Because that was a happy time celebrating someone's life.
I'm sorry.
And now it's not.
Anyway, so the reason, like, by the time like the Charles Dickens things happened, it was like more of a like Christians became more conservative, and it was like this bigger like
You gotta
we
tell.
can't just have a giant fucking orgy every fucking year on Jesus' birthday. We can't fuck for Jesus' birthday. Like that's not
Fuck
what
for Jesus.
Jesus wouldn't want us to all have a big giant gangbang for his birthday. And so by that point, it
I
was
don't know. I
like,
kind of feel like Jesus might.
so that's why at that point they were like, whatever, because this was before Coca-Cola was like,
Before Coca-Cola.
check out fucking Santa Claus. I don't know if it was before, because you know what always fucks me up is like the 1800s in England is way different than the 1800s in America.
In America?
So you're like, fuck yeah, cowboys, and then England, it's like Sherlock Holmes, and it's like,
You're like,
that's
those are-
two different
those are
generations.
two very
to me.
different things in my brain.
They're way different. Like I
Yeah.
separate those by like different time periods. That's the same fucking time period.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's the difference in mentality.
No, it's the difference between being a bunch of like
technology,
redneck criminals
Yeah.
versus being like,
a sophisticated society that has, that has a long history behind it.
you mean war criminals who enslaved millions of people and ruined the world.
I love how you're saying that to like pander to the people that don't like the British, but then the British are
There's
just
literally nobody. There's nobody that doesn't like the British. For whatever reason, all the crimes committed by the early Europeans is like ignored. It's like white males suck, and it's like only because of the Spanish. And then it's like, oh, well, you're being racist. Like, no, I mean like the white Spanish, like the people from Europe that are from Spain, the people from Spain that like came and invaded America and like pushed Christianity on us.
You don't know more rum.
Yeah, because I know I have to chug at the end.
So you need to have.
And you realize I've probably filled my cup up way more times than you. So.
Okay.
I don't know how to tie this back. Anyway, so like by the time like Charles Dickens is like, I'm gonna make a fucking Christmas movie, and his like
Christmas movie,
I'm gonna make a fucking Christmas book. There was movies back then at that point in America. America had Christmas, or not Christmas movies. They had movies. They had cowboy movies about robbing trains and shit. Anyway, by the time Charles Dickens was like, I'm gonna write a fucking book about Christmas.
Give me a second. Let me just real quick verify when.
It was in the 1800s.
It didn't really state when it was taking place.
There's movies in fucking Red Dead Redemption.
You're basing things off of Red Dead Redemption?
Yes. It's very fresh in my mind. Have you watched the movies in the game?
Dude, this was written in 1843.
Definitely.
There was not movies in 18. There was those weird things that like spun around maybe and like some projected pictures. But I don't think you're still thinking of movies as in...
There was like super racist movies. When was that movie about super racist stuff made? That was.
Can you be somewhat more specific? Because there was a lot. Not 1843.
There's like a movie made.
Fucking Red Dead Redemption takes place in like 1896.
Hold on, while I did the internet. It was 1888. There was no movies.
There was no movies.
What were we talking about? Charles Dickens writing books?
Why people didn't give a shit about Christmas during the movie.
Because it wasn't important.
It wasn't important, no.
And at that point, they had gotten rid of the orgies, and they had reduced it to being like a super kind of somber day where everybody was just like...
It was just serious.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
Yeah, it was
baby Jesus,
yeah.
And then it was like whatever, so nobody cared. So, you're drunk now.
How are you this drunk? I'm still fine.
I also chugged this beer, and this beer is like
I kept telling you not to bring the beer.
I really wanted it. It's the last one I had. Dude, this is like my favorite beer.
It doesn't matter. You shouldn't have drank it at a time where we drink and talk about stuff. So, no, okay.
This is 9% alcohol.
Yeah.
For like beer, it's a lot.
Exactly. But no, so, I mean, I understand that it was a somber time and everything like that. So, I mean, it was very, okay. We're going to have to cut out so much of this.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, we're talking about the man who invented Christmas. It was interesting to see that.
I just like really liked his writing process.
It was. That was actually my favorite part. My favorite part was
really getting so into your writing that you become a character in your book was the best. And I don't know how much of it was like legitimately like his life story, but like the whole idea of like him going back to again, super spoilers. So like him going back to like his dad like dropping him off at like that shoe shining place or whatever the fuck it was.
It was not
blackening place.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was, I mean, it captured the creative process really well. Because due to the fact that I write, it's what I do. So
I don't, but I don't ever become a monster.
I don't write on the level that
I do. I guess I do understand because as like a regular artist, like a visual artist.
Yeah.
I do understand the idea of like I'm gonna make an angry face and then being like, and like making the face you're trying to draw and you can't help it.
I think the movie captured that each one of the characters really, how he got the inspiration for every single thing in there was really tied to his life, but also Scrooge in particular.
Yeah.
And his evolution as a character was closely tied to his own life. I don't even think that he was losing himself in the character. I think he was finding out things about himself that he didn't really know. So I think when he was writing Scrooge, it wasn't even so much that he was losing himself in the writing process. I think it was that he was like, oh shit, this is what I really am. I'm making this cantankerous old man, but I technically am this cold-hearted, what was it? It was blood like iron, heart like ice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, exactly. That was like his
Scrooge.
own rebirth. Like when he killed off Scrooge in the end, and he was like, "Oh no, this is your grave," and he was like, "No, you know what? That was like a whole rebirth for himself.
Yeah, this is what is left for you."
He was like, "Unless you change yourself," and then like that was his own changing. And then like he went and was like, "Found his maid lady or whatever."
Yeah, it's if you continuously keep pushing people away, you're gonna die alone.
Yeah.
You're gonna die so alone that no one's even gonna give a shit.
And there was even that whole part where he like broke down and he was like staring at the blackening place or whatever, and he's like, it was himself. He was breaking down himself when he was talking to his manager, publisher. No, not his publisher.
He's kind of just like
it's like his manager.
Yeah, the guy that was like with him. It was his friend slash. It was kind of like his.
But he didn't really have friends.
It was the closest thing that
even
he
his
had
wife
to
wasn't
a friend.
really his friend. So like.
If you think about it, it's the closest thing that he had to a friend.
But like he was coming to the realization, like
him with his work.
He was like, he can't change, and like he was really like, I can't change. Like, I'm not gonna be better. I'm gonna be a good person.
Yeah, I mean and I think that's why for me this was more of a character-driven drama, because I didn't like if A Christmas Carol wasn't about Christmas, but it was still the same general story. It just took place at a different time. It wouldn't carry the same weight, but I think just how they captured how someone can lose themselves in the creative process, find themselves through said creative process, and become a better person because of it was amazing. And it was so well acted.
All right, The Men Who Invented Christmas, sure, but like the Christmas Carol, no. It kind of requires Christmas. It's a Christmas marathon.
Yes, it is a Christmas marathon, stuff like that. I'm just saying, like the movie itself, it was so well acted. It was so well cast. Like every single part of it was so well done that I was like, I don't give a shit when I watch this movie. I'm like, I don't even think of it like, because Christmas was really only mentioned in passing. It was like, oh yeah, this movie, you're not gonna get this out by Christmas. If you do this by now, you're not gonna get it out by Christmas. It's October.
But you know what happened?
Fucking typical. But no,
he published it himself. And he did all of it. It was about Christmas.
All that shit.
So it was a Christmas movie in every sense of a Christmas movie.
But once again, it's
who knows how accurate it was, but it was a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Christmas movie.
Okay, fine.
And every trope that Christmas movie needs. Redemption and all the regular bullshit that comes in, like not a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yes.
Every other Christmas trope.
Yes, but it was extremely well. It was so well done that I actually had absolutely no pet peeves about it. There wasn't anything about it that actually irritated me.
I mean, like the fact that like, I don't know. I really like the way they brought alive the creative spirit.
Oh my God, Christopher Plummer in that as Scrooge. The guy who played Scrooge in the movie. The old guy that was playing Scrooge.
I couldn't name another movie.
Okay, that's fine.
His name.
He's a pretty famous actor, but he was
one of those guys that are just in movies, but you don't know who he is.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he actually is in a lot of stuff that like most of the time you wouldn't even think about it. But no, he was incredible. Like the scenes where they were interacting with each other.
He was a lot of good comic relief because he was just like, you suck.
He kind of was. He was like, you are so bad at this. We run shit. He's like, it's the author.
And Charles Dickens was like,
supposedly.
Charles Dickens was like, shut up, I can do it. And he was like, you can't do it. You're not gonna do this. And it was just
like, you can't even get me a voice in your head to shut up. How the fuck are you gonna accomplish this?
The delivery was so dry and natural that it was just like,
yeah, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, and that's kind of how the whole movie went. The whole movie was so naturally delivered.
Yeah.
Like every single person, like the maid, or the nanny. I guess she was like a nanny, maid.
No, she was a house servant.
Yeah, she was a servant.
So she was one of many.
Yeah, so the servant, Tara.
Which was like a weird thing also to like go back to. And he was like, look at all my children. And you're like, wait, some of these aren't your children. Some of these are just children you own, sort of.
I also love like how they really highlighted like the debtor's prison and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, these are all things that like nowadays like
if that's
nobody would.
That's accurate. I don't even know how debtor's prison worked.
Yeah, that's how debtor's.
Like the idea of like going to like a work camp and working off your debt. I just thought you went to regular jail, and it was like, nah, you can't pay your bills now because you're in jail. and now you owe more money. So now you're going to go to jail some more.
If you didn't go to the same jail as like murderers did, you went to jail with other people that also couldn't pay their fucking bills.
You know, like my very, very libertarian type idea of taxation is theft
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
So my idea was just like, prison's bad no matter what.
But yeah, no, I think that it really captured a lot of amazing parts of like the human journey in like a lot of different ways. I don't know. I don't think
He's
it's too
writing
far.
one book. That's not his whole life. And it didn't change his
But
life.
it encapsulated his life
Kind of, but not
from
really.
when
I
he
mean,
was a child, thrust into having to grow up, and then everything that thereby affected his adult life. And then coming to amends with that and changing so that you can be a better person going forward for the rest of your life.
So like I know
So
the
from
movie,
the time of 11
the movie
to
sort of wraps it up, but at the same time, his wife's like, I don't know how to deal with your fucking mood swings. Makes me think that he's probably gone through this redemption process a few times, so he's probably not that much of like a life story.
I'm not saying that the real
it's not
life
that much of a
Charles
life-changing
Dickens-
like thing. Even in the movie, then, because like really, like at the end of the movie, he's like, "Why the fuck did you fire her?" And she's like, because you're a fucking asshole, and you said so."
That was
And he's like, "But why did you listen?" Like, she's like, "I don't know if you're gonna fucking hit me or not."
That was before the scene with the motherfucking inside of like that weird warehouse thing that he worked at.
No, that was after that. Like when he was like when he came out, he's like, "Who is she?" And he was all upset about it.
That was before he did that. Because when
I thought that was like at the very end when he like brought her back or whatever.
The very end was she came back to return the book, and then he acknowledged how much of an asshole he was being. So after that point, that's when he went back to that factory thing and had the confrontation with Scrooge. So that's what kind of sparked his change, because he started to see.
I have this so backwards in my mind.
See, that's why I watched the movie.
Because I thought
yesterday.
I thought it was like he had that conversation with Scrooge, and then it was like it's Christmas moment, like
yeah, I can see how you would make that mistake
because of how it's supposed to be.
and because it's two conversations that happen in the same room. Like legit, it's like the same room, or it's like right next to each other. Like because the whole thing is like he.
But no, he actually goes to that broken down warehouse.
Well, no, I mean the conversations between him and his wife, and then him, his wife, and Tara, the maid.
Okay.
Yeah, they're so very similar, because the first one is like the wife, the kids, and the head servant. She's there, and that's when he walks downstairs.
You head servant lady.
It's so weird.
You are still my servant, but you are number one servant.
You are my number one servant.
Number one slave. What's up? I give you
I
like
didn't say slave.
1 penny a day. What's up?
Yeah, you
Number
know.
one. That's
So
why everybody else gets half a penny every day.
exactly, half a pence. But
I don't know British money. I'm gonna go with American
I
money.
just said pence. I don't even think that was real. It's
Pretty sure back in the day, Americans actually did do like half pennies. I don't think there was money for it. You just like it's a penny. And
You owe me.
overpaid.
exactly be like, next time I come here, remember how much I overpaid. But no. So yeah, like the first time that they have the conversation, he comes down, and everybody's sitting in like the dining room, and that's when him and his wife have a conversation. She was like, "You're a fucking asshole, and I don't know what to do with your fucking crazy mood swings." And he's like, "Well, you knew me when you married me." And that's when he goes back
She's
upstairs.
like, yeah, well, you're still a piece of shit.
Exactly. He was kind of like, "Yeah, you're a piece of shit, and I don't know how to fucking deal with your insane shit." And then that's when he goes upstairs and he has the conversation with Scrooge and everybody's like, "Oh, the author is here," and he goes, "Allegedly."
And they're all like, you're still a piece of shit.
Exactly. Everyone's basically just calling him a piece of shit, and he's like, "You know what? Charles Dickens is such a piece of shit. Never gonna be anything. Little piece of shit."
You know, no, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
It's fucking Conan Doyle.
What did I say?
No, you said it just really
I
weird.
said Conan.
You did say Conan. Shit, we really gotta finish talking about
Charles
this movie.
Dickens.
So back to Charles Dickens.
Anyway, it was a good movie.
It was an extremely good
I
movie.
think we need to just end it there.
It was well acted. It was well written. It was well put together. The cinematography of it was great.
Stuff like that.
It's
I
highly
liked it,
suggested.
which is that's like 15 thumbs up by fucking that one dude who's not dead, Roger and Ebert.
Roger Ebert? Because it was Siskel and Ebert, now it's Roger Ebert.
Yeah, that guy. He's like 15 thumbs up if I say I liked it because I hate everything.
As you probably can tell from our first podcast, Kyle doesn't like most things that are considered, you know, like popular mainstream stuff. But I
don't think anybody's heard of this movie.
Stuff.
I found it by accident.
Yeah, I know, because when you told me about it, I was like, I never heard of it before. But it was extremely well done. It was fun to watch. It was informative. It was well done. I mean, it was an all-around great movie that honestly I think people should watch for Christmas. But on top of that, people should watch any time of the year. I highly suggest both of those movies, both Christmas Chronicles for families, and if you really like movies, watch The Man Who Invented Christmas. It's a really good movie.
Watch the fucking Gremlins for Christmas.
Yeah, watch the fucking Gremlins.
Let your children watch the Gremlins.
Watch the movies at Christmas time that you like. Just do that.
Except Hallmark movies, those are fucking trash.
So that is going to close out another episode of the Rum Runnas Podcast. I am Jared.
I'm Batman.
And Batman is back. And we are glad to have you back. Thank you very much for coming out here, even though you're still sick. He does. So, as has become tradition on the Rum Runnas Podcast,
videos.
Exactly. What we will do now is we will finish what is in our cups.
Don't you fucking dare smash on the table because when you do that.
Okay, I will not. I will fight the urge to do that. Okay. Do it anyway. I didn't do it.
Rum Runnas. Great state of New Jersey.
Jesus Christ. Once again, it's a lot of rum right at the end. Thank you very much for joining us on another episode of the Rum Runnas Podcast, and we will see you next week.